In this video, we're going to explore the use of Business Model Canvas to establish your strategy as an internal function, whether that be quality or IT or HR. Many internal organizations or functions in an organization deliver value to their customers, which just happen to be other groups within the organization. So we're going to do a quick walkthrough and just sort of frame the key questions you might ask yourself, as well as what I'm going to propose as the right sequence to think about this as a process. So first, we really have to start with our customer segments. Now, customer segments, it could be a set of employees, it could be another set of functions, and it could be really individuals in those functions, right? So depending on how you define it, you will end up with very different value propositions, which is why you have to do this first. The other reason you have to do this first is that if you start defining your value proposition and then look for a customer, well, you might not find one. Your customer set is predetermined. Maybe not the specific customers that you decide to serve, but ultimately it's an internal service. The groups that you have are predefined. So are you serving a group of employees? Are you serving a function? Are you serving individuals within certain functions? Once you know that, then you can come over to the value proposition. The reason this is so important is that you are trying to solve their problem. You want to make sure you understand who you're thinking about before you start crafting those solutions. Now again, this has the same questions. What is the problem you're trying to solve? What problem can you solve? What mechanism or form does that take place? And what makes you so special in solving that problem? Here, it's really valuable to compare against external forms of solving that same problem. Because ultimately, you want a group equally reliant on you, not because they have to, but because they want to. That is the best way to build the right relationship and ultimately deliver the value. So compare how you deliver that value versus external mechanisms. Now, we still need to understand customer relationships, right? Is it a transactional relationship where people pop in? So you go to IT and you might have a service ticket, a help ticket to solve a problem. That transaction begins and ends in a very defined way. Or like an HR business partner or a benefits group, you might have a very long-term, ongoing relationship. And again, whether it's value or based or contractual based. Contractual based doesn't mean that you have a contract, but there's fundamentally an expectation, a policy expectation behind this. So we might replace contractual with some sort of policy explanation versus a pure value explanation. So it's important to understand what form that customer relationship takes. Now, channels is the same thing, right? Inbound or outbound. Are you a pull service? Are you a push service or a pull service? Do people come to you or you go to them? And if it is, in either case, is there another individual that they have to go through to get to you? All right, so do they have to go through the head of HR in order to pull some support, or they have to go through the CFO, or how does that, or do they become an advocate for what you're trying to do? So that's often perhaps the most missed opportunity is when you are trying to push, and do you have an advocate in an influential position that can help you with your channel? So that's, again, the front of the house, how you engage with other functions in the organization. We then still have the same questions on the back. Key resources. These are things that you, again, already have in place. They're much more likely to be capability-based. So what capabilities do we provide from that standpoint? But still, again, what key resources? And here, the key partners are both internal partners, right? So we might see HR and quality to work together to build a new capability set to evaluate employees for a quality push, right? That's an internal partner, or it could be an external partner, working with an advisor or a coach or a consultant to help deliver that value, where you either are the channel or you're providing part of the value and those external partners are providing other parts of it. Now, from a revenue stream, usually this is simply predefined as budget, right? Because you're not engaging on a transactional level, but I really encourage people to think about this from a pricing standpoint. And what I mean by that is that while the services that other groups consume from your group are usually built into overhead, if instead they have to pull money out of their budget to pay for you as if you were an external vendor, would they do it? Well, I'm not proposing you change your structure to operate that way, but fundamentally, it's a good test of the value proposition of would they actually pay for what you're doing. And then, of course, the cost goes into the budget, right? It's the same mechanism, but understanding it and the relationship between your budget and how much you partner to deliver that value is often a key leverage point for your equation. So again, this is most often used for an organization thinking about their market strategy and how they go to market, but many internal functions need a strategy as well for how they deliver value inside the organization. And hopefully this is a glimpse about how you can use this tool with that same purpose in mind.